Okay, so I've done plenty of videos on St. Johns County. I just did one recently, St. Johns County overview just in 10 minutes. And one of you asked, can you just do a video about the city of St. Johns so that we can compare it to the rest of St. Johns County? Because there is a lot of confusion. St. Johns is in St. Johns County, but it's not necessarily comparable to Ponte Vedra Beach, Ponte Vedra Nocatee, or St. Augustine. It's its own city, if you will. It's an unincorporated city of suburb of Jacksonville. So today I'm going to give you an overview comparing St. John's to the rest of St. Johns County, give you a little bit more depth information. We'll even talk about some of the neighborhoods that are in St. John's. And so we'll get after it right now. Okay, so welcome to my computer, and we're going to go ahead and start in the trusted Google map. And really quick, as you can see, we're in Northeast Florida. We're a suburb of Jacksonville, as we're talking about St. John's today in St. Johns County. Now, I'm going to try not to confuse you too much, but basically, St. Johns County is up here in the northeast section, starts in Ponte Vedra Beach, goes out a little west here to Julington Creek and Cove, which is part of the unincorporated city of St. John's. And then it goes all the way down here to Hastings, St. Augustine, Crescent Beach, as I've shown you in previous videos regarding St. Johns County. So St. Johns County is very large, almost the size geographically as Duval County, but it is actually half the population. They say it's over 300,000 population of St. Johns County. And St. Johns County is known very much so for their schools. Now, the schools, as I said on that previous video, which I'll have in the description and linked at the end of this video, St. Johns County in 10 minutes or less, the good schools for St. Johns County are in the Northwest region, the Northeast section of St. Johns County. But today we're talking about St. John's, and that is in the Northwest section here of St. Johns County. Now, they say the population in St. Johns County is about over 300,000. I reason to believe it's closer to 400,000 with the rapid growth, but updated numbers are not quite out right now. I think the last Census Bureau did a count of 300,000. To account of that population, a great deal of that I discovered when I was doing my research for that St. Johns County video, was that actually St. John's does account for a massive part of our population of St. Johns County. So if you figure we have over 300,000 in St. Johns County, and you would think that a great deal of that was in the city of St. Augustine, the truth is a great portion of that population and concentration of families and urban lifestyle is actually more so in the St. John's area. And the last account number that I got was under 90,000 population just for St. John's of St. Johns County. So this is St. Johns County's outline here. And so to make it more confusing, in which I'm trying not to, on the Google Maps, if you went ahead and just said St. John's, Florida, the unincorporated city, a suburb of Jacksonville, it's going to outline just this middle portion here, which even makes it more confusing, right? Because in actuality, if we go to the MLS and we look at how people address their homes in St. John's, it actually includes Julington Creek, Fruit Cove, Switzerland, and Rivertown. So those are all included as St. John's. So when we search for you on MLS for properties in St. John's, we're actually doing it by zip code. I'm going to show you that in a few minutes. And when we do it by zip code, which is a zip code 32259, that is technically falls all under St. John's. So this map, the Google Maps here, is only really showing the Durbin area, part of Julington Creek's down here to Cimarron, right on the 210 border to the Durbin Pavilion area, which is a 9B exit off of 95 and off of Phillips. It also is confusing because it includes the beach walk area where Beachside High, one of the new schools, is, but right across the street from Beach Walk is Beacon Lake, and that's just on the other side of 210. That's considered St. Augustine. So very confusing indeed, and I hope this helps clarify it. So if you're searching for a home in St. John's, I always suggest doing the zip code 32259 zip code, which will give you a true outline of what we understand to be St. John's, specifically in our address, and it expands out here to Julington Creek, Fruit Cove, and Rivertown development. So it is technically in the northwest corner of St. John's County. It is west of Ponte Vedra Beach, which is on the beach side. It is west of Nocatee, which is considered Ponte Vedra. And then it includes Durbin, and it heads out west to Julington Creek, Fruit Cove, and Rivertown development. And again, I'm saying this accounts for almost 1/4 of the population of St. John's County, which we saw here is huge. It starts all the way here in Ponte Vedra Beach and goes all the way down here past St. Augustine. Just this little concentrated area here has 90,000 residents, just under 90,000. I think it was 83,000 or something was the last count. So when we moved up here from Northeast Florida, our radar was in St. John's because generally that area is what's known to have the best public school system. According to various rating sites, schools rank between 7 and 10 in those areas. So we were focused in that area, and we ended up in a very established area of homes that have been built since 2004 and 5 in an area called Julington Creek. And Julington Creek is probably one of the premier earliest master plan communities for St. John's, and it has all the amenities that you would want, and it has multiple neighborhoods in that master plan community. The reason why we left Julington Creek and headed over east towards Nocatee, which is a different zip code in a different city, which is out here in Ponte Vedra, because Nocatee is not a city either. It's in the city of Ponte Vedra. We went out there because I wanted to be closer to the beach. But we had considered the Rivertown development, which is the newest master plan community in St. John's, and which has about, I'd say it's going to be building just under 5,000 homes, somewhere around 4,600, I think. Don't take my word exact, but I think they're at 3,000 homes right about now. But they are one of the newest master plan communities, and that's right here in this section. So St. John's has been around a long time. It's a very established area. I think the most interesting thing about St. John's is its massive growth because of the reputation of good schools and that great urban living, the suburbia lifestyle that Jacksonville has to offer. Okay, so it is also conveniently located about 25 minutes from downtown Jacksonville. It's about a 35-40 minute ride to the Jacksonville airport. It is also about 35 to 40 minutes to the beach, depending on which part of St. John's that you live. And then, of course, it is a little a different environment. So looking it up, the way it's described is St. John's County in general is known very much to have the reputation of being very historical and or coastal. And I think that's because of the St. Augustine influence, right? St. Augustine is one of the most oldest cities in America. It's very rich in history. And then, of course, the rest of St. John's gets a very coastal vibe reputation, if you will, because it's so close to the beach as well. So that is the reputation you'll see for a majority of St. Johns County, is very historical, and then of course very coastal. Now, St. John's, the unincorporated city of St. Johns County here, what we're talking about in the northwest section, that has more of a reputation of a suburban family lifestyle. Feels a little more country, especially being on the St. Johns River. So a little bit of a different vibe there for sure than your coastal beach. And again, the coastal beach, that reputation that you'll see out east or even southeast in the St. Augustine area. So where do people go? Where do they live? Where do they shop, etc.? So one of the most popular, massive areas that a lot of newer construction is in St. John's is certainly around the Durbin Pavilion area. And this area is massively known for the new shopping centers of being developed right now, and that is right here. And this is going to be multiple phases of development over the years, and it just continues expanding and expanding right here in this area. That's considered the shopping center, and one of the older communities of that outskirts of that area is obviously known as Durbin. Durbin, again, is like Julington Creek, has a little bit of older homes as well, starting back in the earlier 2000s. So the reason we left Julington Creek, because we were looking for a more open floor plan. And so in these areas like Julington Creek, Durbin, you'll find a older floor plan where you have that formal sitting room when you enter the home, and then the family room is off the kitchen. And so when we were in our rental home in Julington Creek, we were trying to figure out how can we open up this house where we don't have this unused space in the entryway, that formal sitting room. How do we open it up to the kitchen and the living room? And we were having a lot of challenges with that, because now the popularity is definitely the big open floor plans, if you will. Now, really quick, before I get into the real estate thing, is because we will go into my MLS and start getting into the nitty gritty. Again, let me clarify, St. John's, 210 is a major vein line in St. Johns County in the northwest section, where you'll find a lot of communities in with the master plan business model, if you will. And that goes all the way from the east to west. As you see, it comes down here, Old County 210, comes all the way out here to through Rivertown as well. And on the south side of it, again, going as far as, let me see here, it's almost slightly confusing. If we look right here after Phillips Highway, it is literally includes part of Twin Creeks neighborhood off of Phillips Dixie Highway here. It includes Beach Walk, but again, across the street at Beacon Lake is considered St. Augustine. And then going out west, St. John's Golf and Country Club is also obviously included. Let's do St. John's, or let's do 32259 on the Google Maps. And then follow that line down. So St. John's Country Club, let me look at that really quick. St. John's Country Club is 322092. So ironically, St. John's Country Club is not even in St. John's. It's actually considered St. Augustine. So like I said, it gets really confusing here because some of these communities have the name St. John's, but guess what? They're not even in that zip code. So 32259 is that zip code. And so I'm trying to outline the neighborhoods here that are considered St. John's, 32259. So St. John's Country Club is not indeed in the St. John's city line. Same goes for Johns Creek, which is just south here of 210. That is considered St. Augustine. Of course, all of Silverleaf is considered St. Augustine. The golf club at Southampton's, again, that is St. Augustine. Lennard, Stillwater, 55 and older community, that is considered St. John's. Shearwater is considered St. Augustine. And then, ironically, the red mark comes down here southwest and covers all of the Rivertown development to be included in St. John's. Now, as I said, I'm trying not to make it confusing, but outside of Rivertown development is an older area that's very established called Switzerland, which is very beautiful by the river. And then Fruit Cove, which is also very beautiful, older Jacksonville community. Those addresses you'll see are Fruit Cove. So they may not have a St. John's address, but they do have the same zip code. And Fruit Cove is one of the very few communities that you'll find no HOA. There are not very many communities in St. John's that are non-HOA communities. So Fruit Cove is one of the areas that has no HOA, and you'll notice that when you drive through there. Switzerland, I'm not 100% of all those communities have HOAs, but again, not so much that master plan business model. Find a lot of great homes on the river here as well, older homes, if you will, established homes. And then when you get to Rivertown, of course, you're talking about all new construction. All right, so this is a little overview of St. John's. Great location, proximity to everything, great public schools, lots of different options. And of course, you gotta know sometimes it can be confusing, like St. John's Country Club, that is actually a St. Augustine address as opposed to a St. John's St. John's address, which is zip code 32259. And then of course, we're having massive expansion on Racetrack, which is another main road going through St. John's right here from east to west. This is the Racetrack Road going all the way through Julington Creek to Fruit Cove. And then finally, 210 is on the southern end of St. John's. Again, the other main vein going from east to west to the river to Rivertown is the 210 main vein line. So those are also known as Old Country Road. So those are the main two roads that really outline St. John's. And then, of course, we have the massive development of the Durbin Shopping Pavilion, which is continually going to be expanding into multiple phases for the next, I would say, next 10 years. So let's go ahead and go in the MLS. Let's talk about some of these neighborhoods and pricing as well. I'll get a little bit more in depth in that. Okay, now we're in the MLS, and really quick, I'm going to go ahead and show you how it looks on MLS for us as the agents. Here we go. So again, this is St. Johns County outlined here on the suburb of Jacksonville, which is Duval County. This is St. Johns County. And again, today we're focusing on St. John's addresses, which is this northwest corner right here. And that zip code is 32259. So just to give you an idea of the real estate here, some of the older developments in St. John's are known as Durbin, near the Durbin Pavilion. And then as you go west, you have some other older communities like Julington Creek And then finally, the non-HOA community for Cove, going down here on the riverside. Switzerland, again, older homes near the river. And then finally to newer construction, which is Rivertown development. So if you're looking for newer homes, Rivertown is definitely one of your options, but it is a master plan living. But again, on this 210 corridor, there are also a ton of newer communities as well that go all the way down to Beach Walk and Twin Creeks. So I don't recommend all the communities, but I'm not going to get into that here. But some of the other communities that are considered St. John's that are newer, that are not major master plan communities, but you have options for sure, are the newer communities like Middlebourne, Oxford Estates, some of the other ones that are popular, Mill Creek Forest, Toll Brothers Community, Bartram Ranch, Toll Brothers Community, all of these out here by the Rivertown development. Again, Silverleaf is considered St. Augustine. Beacon Lake is considered St. Augustine. So there are a ton of different communities here, and it can be overwhelming. But again, with the right real estate professional, you'll be able to figure out, based on your wants and needs, what would be right for you. There are golf communities. There are master plan communities. There's non-HOA communities. There's 55 and older communities. So there's a lot of different options for you, and it could be really narrowed down. Again, if you have a good real estate professional that is asking you the right question, to really narrow that down and figure out if St. John's is the one for you. In general, a lot of the schools are really good in this area. They're ranked on niche.com, schools.org, bestschools.org, that you can do further research on that. And I also touch upon that on another video on the schools in St. Johns County. Are they really that great? That is the name of the video, and I will put that in the description. So let's get a quick look at pricing in St. John's. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start here in St. John's. We're going to start with the Durbin Crossing area. Okay, so that's near Durbin Pavilion. It's a popular area, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at pricing here. Generally, homes are a little bit older here. It is established, and the price points will be a little lower because you have a little bit of an older vintage. But again, that's all relative, right? So Durbin Crossing here near the 9B exit, 95 in the middle, if you will, here in St. John's. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these listings. So these are townhomes. They're ranging at $213 a square foot. Let's look at some of the larger homes. A 2,300 square foot home, $230 a square foot. This is a $520,000 home that is $2,445. It's $212 a square foot. So let's go ahead and look at this one really quickly. Let's look at the details. This home was built in 2014. It's in Durbin Crossing, and it is, let's take a look at some of the photos here. So it's not that old. And again, it's all relative, but nice looking home. Has a little lake to preserve there. Very nicely done. A little bit of the earth tone colors. So definitely a little bit of an older style and vintage. It is a 2014, so technically it's almost 10 years old. But this home is roughly listed at $212 a square foot. So if you can see here, when you get into this Durbin area near the Durbin Pavilion, most of the homes will be roughly between $210 up to let's see, $270. So most of them are about 200 to 250 a square foot, with some outliers like this one. Let me reduce my big head here so that you can actually see the pictures of the house. 3-car garage, nice lot. You will see some nicer lots in these older vintage homes because their builders were more generous at that time. But beautiful home, preserved, screened in lanai, no pool. And this one is in Durbin Crossing. It was built in 2010. As again, look at the lot size, 0.61 acres, 5-bedroom, 3.5 bath. So again, if you're looking for maybe bigger lots, also they were more generous with the lots in that time frame than they are today. Now we try to fit as many houses as we can, as close as we can to each other. But again, definitely some updating needed on a home. If you're looking for more of the whites and grays and all that, this was a different style then. But if you don't mind that and you're used to that, then another great option. This is priced a little high at $273 a square foot, and you notice it's 111 days on market. So I think on average, the average price of a home in St. John's is $550,000, and so we're looking at between $215 to $250 a square foot in the Durbin Crossing area. So let's go ahead and look at the next community over, and that is Julington Creek. And I always spell it with 2 L's, and it's only 1 L. So let's get it right here. Julington Creek, and there's Julington Creek Plantation. So let's see. Computer's slow because I'm doing screen recorder. So a lot of different communities in Julington Creek. So this is just Julington Creek because there's Julington Creek Plantation, Julington Creek Estates. That's where we actually rented, which was a gated community. So let's look at the pricing here. Again, pricing is similar to Durbin. This home here is $250 a foot, 1,669 square feet. This one is $215 a square foot, $210 a square foot for this 2,700 square foot home. Let's take a look at this one. The vintage on this is 2004. As I said, 2004 and 5 is Julington's time frame when they started heavy development. High school is Creekside. Fruit Cove is the middle school and the elementary school. You also notice in St. John's, most of the schools have an elementary, middle, and high school. And then in the newer parts of St. John's, like Rivertown, they're now doing K-8 schools. That goes the same for Nocatee and Ponte Vedra Beach, or Nocatee specifically. The newer communities in St. John's County are now doing K-8 schools. The older areas like St. John's still have the middle school and elementary school as two separate schools. So this one is, again, $565,000, built in 2004, 2,700 square feet. Again, nice size lots. You'll always find good size lots, but you may want to do some updating of your own. Looks like they definitely did some painting and updated the colors to the grays. May want to do some additional flooring, but this floor plan again is that sitting room at the front, and then off the kitchen, a family room. So you have the sitting room here with the fireplace, and then off the kitchen is a family room. Actually, that's a dining room. So the formal sitting room is up here on this side of the kitchen, and then dining, and then living room. So not quite the standard open floor plan that we're accustomed to, but nice home, a lot of value there, and may require a little updating, a little lower on the price point for St. John's, $209 a square foot, 46 days. All right, here we go. We have one at $278,000 dollars square foot. That's 3,900 square feet. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. Of course, this one has a pool. Let's take a look at the size of this lot. Again, half-acre lot, built in 2002 in Julington Creek. Beautiful pool, very luscious big yard, 3-car garage. Looks like this one's been updated. Has some shutters. Again, not your typical white shaker cabinets, but definitely a lot of updates done in this home for sure. Nice big backyard, big pool. It does have that, I think, that formal sitting room in the front, which I don't always know what to do with that space. And then of course maybe a little updating to do in the bathrooms. But if you're looking for major space and you don't mind doing renovations, and depending on your choice, this may not be old to you at all, depending where you come from. I have people from New York that have lived in houses that were built in, 40s, 50s. So this is a really nice home potentially. Okay, so let's continue out west. We went from Durbin, we went to Julington Creek. And again, if you're looking for non-HOA, let's go ahead and look at Fruit Cove. And of course, today I can't do all the communities in St. John. So if you're genuinely interested in being in this area, then certainly give me a call. I'd be more than glad to help narrow your search based on your needs for sure. So let's go ahead and do Fruit Cove. Subdivision name. A little issue here. It's not always easy. Sometimes as agents, we like to just outline the community because we know it. Because there could be Fruit Cove in other areas. So yeah, not having a lot of luck there with that. So let's go ahead and just outline the Fruit Cove area. Let's see what we have coming up here. Okay, so again, you have to be really careful because some of these outlines say Fruit Cove as a city and some say St. John's. So Fruit Cove, this is a cute home, 1,500 square feet. Beautiful giant lot. And again, no HOA, some updating done. Closed off kitchen, not the typical, but this is actually not old at all. Built in 1990, under 1,500 square feet, 399,000, a 3.2. Beautiful neighborhood with lovely homes, manicured lawns, and see, no CDD fee. And I don't think there's an HOA, so that is the benefits for Fruit Cove. And let's look at price per square foot here. That's $267. So again, also in the 200 to 250 square feet. This one's $281 a square foot in Fruit Cove. It's priced high, but it does have an open kitchen, but some of it has been renovated and updated, some not so much. 0.34 acres a lot, so larger than normal lot. I mean, it's 100 by 150, so it is pretty big. And again, no CDD or HOA fees, 4.2. So, and it has the great options for great schools as well. Let's see, this one's for 1.8 million in Fruit Cove. And this is 5,000 square feet, built in 2008. Stunning custom home, luxury living in oak lined streets. Yeah, so a lot of these older neighborhoods in St. John's and specifically in Fruit Cove, Because they're not big master plan communities, a lot of the development was done there. They didn't just wipe out all the trees like they do in newer developments now and then replant trees, because it's cheaper just take down all the trees. But they kept all these awesome, beautiful Spanish oak trees that Northeast Florida is known for. Okay, this one's very close to the river. It's not on the river, but massive lot. It's like a compound. So if you're looking for that style, Fruit Cove can be definitely your option. Looks like they did a lot of updating, beautiful wood floors, high ceilings, um, much more traditional, I don't know, farmhouse style, brand new, modern kitchen, very nicely done, big appliances. Some of the flooring still looks like the kitchen tiles can be a little more updated, but big home. I mean, over 5,000 square feet. I don't know why it doesn't include the amount of lot, how big the lot is, but I would say this has got acreage for sure. Stunning custom home, 5,000, private, Oakline Street. It's on 2 acres. There you go. So now if you're looking for a lot of land, Fruit Cove can also be something for you. Ain't cheap. 1.8 million. They're at $350 a square foot, and it's not quite on the river. But Fruit Cove also has homes if you want to be on the river. I don't know how often they come up, but there are options here on uh, the Fruit Cove area, non-HOA. So let's go ahead and look at new construction. If you want to be in St. John's in a master plan community, new construction, I would say it's a great option to Nocatee, which is here in St. John's in Rivertown. Let's go ahead and just put Rivertown, see if that works. No, that's the zip code. Sorry, 32259 is the zip code. Let's stick to that. City is Rivertown. Not Rivertown. I'm messing up. Subdivision is Rivertown. So there's a lot of communities in Rivertown. So let's just say Rivertown. Again, when I do these searches, I very rarely do the subdivision name, because if an agent doesn't enter the listing in correctly, usually if it's not entered in correctly, you usually will miss some of the listings in that area. So you're not only getting an education on costs of these areas, but also how to search them properly in MLS if you're a realtor, which I know some realtors do watch this. So let's go ahead and outline as much as I can here with my time frame for Rivertown. It's pretty expansive, so I'll usually just outline all this just to get you an idea of pricing. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at pricing here in the newer Rivertown. Lots for sale in Rivertown, and they're still building new construction. So you'll see new construction by the developer, Mattamy Homes, still building in Rivertown, or also you'll see, why is this sticking? You'll also see Shores at Rivertown, Toll Brothers, or Mattamy Homes. So again, the newer homes are on the higher end of price per square foot, $295 a foot, $270, $260. So St. John's, Durbin, and Fruit Cove, you'll see $200 to $250 with some anomalies. And then here, as you get to the newer houses in Rivertown, you'll start seeing more of a $260 to $300 a square foot. But don't let that alarm you, because a lot of those new builds have massive incentives on the back end. In fact, there's a lot of incentives in there right now. So even though the price per square foot may be one thing, there are a lot of incentives. So the builders want to make sure they don't mess up with the comps. So They won't lower the price, but they'll add a lot of incentives. And so the big difference in the homes from $250 to $280 a square foot are obviously how new the home is, the vintage, and then of course the upgrades in the home, the quartz countertops, the lot location. This is a very modern home, and again, that's in the $280 square foot range. Let's see what the vintage on this one is. It's a 2022, so it's a newer home. So in Rivertown, you're going to get a newer home, and be in St. John's. It's a master plan community, but of course, with master plan community, you've got CDD fees, which is $22.83 per year, and then you'll see the lot size is only 14,000 square feet. So smaller lots. And then, of course, when you see taxes, property taxes, don't just take that for your information, because a lot of people will look on Realtor or Zillow and then say, okay, the property taxes are $6,000. Their next question, does that include CDD? Usually it doesn't. Again, have a good real estate professional like myself helping you, because this is going to limit a lot of your time, because it can be very confusing. The accurate way to find out what your taxes are going to be are on the St. Johns County Tax Appraiser website. They'll assess the property. You just put the address in, make sure you have the right district in there, and then it will give you exactly what your property taxes are on the new purchase price of the home. Okay, that's how they're going to go ahead and determine your taxes. So what somebody's paying in taxes now may not be what yours are. It's based on what you purchased the home on, and then the assessed value. Finally, you will need to also add the CDD on that for accuracy. But again, with a good real estate professional, you should really know what you're getting yourself into as far as expenses, what your home costs are, what your mortgage payments are, with several lenders, determining whether or not you want to use the preferred lender or not. You should always compare to a non-preferred lender to compare rates, cost of the loan. Figure out what your CDD fees are, your property taxes, and then your home insurance, which should be somewhere in the area of 2,000 or less, and depending if it's a bigger home, it could be over 2,000. So this is also Rivertown, and again, we've been in St. John's. We're seeing homes between $215, $250 a square foot, depending on the age of the home, with some anomalies. And then the newer homes, you're going to see between the $240, $235 to $290, $300 a square foot. But then again, you're going to have a lot of incentives in that, like closing costs, buying down the rate, all these other different options. So again, prices of homes in St. Johns County, you're looking between $200 to $300 a square foot. Now, when you start getting into east towards the beach, of course, like the Nocatee areas and Ponte Vedra Beach, you're going to start seeing those prices go much higher than $300 a square foot, again, with an anomaly here and there. But that's a general idea of St. Johns County's real estate. All right, I hope this didn't bore you. I tried to give you a good overview of St. John's in St. Johns County, give you a little idea of the neighborhoods. There's still a lot to unpack. I really highly recommend you have a real estate professional like myself help out. If you're thinking about making the move in 9 days, 90 days, or 180 days, it doesn't matter. Get in contact with me now. My information will be in the description below and pinned to the comments section. You can email me, text me, or call me, and I can really help narrow that search down, because in St. John's, you've got older homes, you've got non-HOA communities, you've got master plan communities, you have newer communities in St. John's, and there's a lot of different factors there to determine what makes sense. Some of the communities may have higher CDDs than other communities and may not offer as many of the amenities, and that's all determination in the number of homes. For instance, like a beach walk has a massive HOA in CDD fees, so much so that some of the builders' incentives offering paying off the CDD for you, which is great, but there's always that concern of how how will the long-term maintenance of their giant lagoon pool affect your home ownership and values in the future? Because again, there's not a lot of homes there. It's not like a Rivertown, which has just under 5,000 homes, where there's plenty of residents to foot the bill and the maintenance of all the maintenance amenities there, but only less than 2,000. So you got to make all those considerations and make sure that you have all the right data and you have somebody that's looking out for your best interests. So my name is Greg DiTullio. I've been here in St. Johns County for quite a while now. I've lived in Julington Creek in St. Johns, and now I live in Nocatee. But I work the area tremendously. I also specialize heavily in new construction. And so I would love to be a resource of choice. I really appreciate you watching the videos. And of course, don't stop there. There's plenty more. The next video is that 10-minute overview of St. Johns County that I just recently made as well as other communities. So I'll see you on that next video.